promise me you'll never change. Things will always be the same.
Hey guys, this is Chris from KRC Creations. I wanted to talk to you today about nut butters. Now that it's around Thanksgiving, a lot of people usually have like whole nuts as appetizers during the holiday season. Well, I took that idea and I'm like, okay, I wanted to talk about some superfoods that you can add to some of your recipes to make them all the better. I make my own nut butter. I make my own nut butter for us to eat, as well as for me to use in some of my products. So I wanted to take some time and talk to you about them and talk to you about the benefits of them. And then I made nut butter soap for each one of them, and I'm going to show you that process and then show you the soap afterwards. So first let's talk about the almond butter. This one is almond butter. I'll open the cap for you. Now this almond butter is, as I said, I made it myself, and this is so easy to make. You can make this yourself. I don't use these in my lotions or anything like that. I usually use my own grounded nut butter in my soaps because they don't have that complete consistency, that smooth consistency that I want in my lotions and creams. It leaves a kind of like a little residue, which is okay for soap, but I don't want that for my lotions and creams. So one thing about nut butters though, if you make your own, you got to be careful not to use nuts that have not been blanched. Blanching means to take the shell from the nut so that all you have is the nut itself. Now this is an almond butter that has been made from blanched almonds. And this is an almond butter that has not been made from blanched almonds. As you can see, all the brown specks and things like that, that is from the shell on the almond. Another thing about nut butter is that when you're making them, all you have to do is take as much as you want. I usually make these 8 ounces at the time. You put the nut in a grinder or a food processor and you let it go. You have to stand by it and scrape the walls of the blender so that the nuts keep circulating through so that they can grind down. And that takes some time. The only thing, these are some of the warnings I'll give you about making your own nut butter. With the almond butter, do not be tempted to add oil to it. They don't need any oil at all. All this is almonds ground up by itself. There's no extra oil. In fact, the extra oil is redundant. You really don't need it. When I did this one, I added some extra oil. If you can see, let me pour that extra oil. That is the extra oil. You can see that I added. You really don't need it. Now, if you don't want to blanch your almonds or you don't want to buy blanched almonds, you still can use this because it's a great exfoliator. Very mild exfoliator, but it's a nice exfoliator for your soap. So that's with the almond. Okay, let me tell you about the qualities of the almond butter. Almond butter, as I said, is really great. It is rich in protein as well as vitamin D and vitamin E. The oils from this particular nut softens and reconditions dry skin. So this one is excellent for dry skin. It also is known to help reduce fine lines and wrinkles. So yeah, this one is great. If you can make a great mask with this nut butter. I mean, simple. Just grind up your nuts and put a little rose water or some honey and just put it on your face and mask, and it will soften your skin and do great things for your skin. Also, you can use this in your hair. If you, after washing your hair, if you put some of this on your hair as a deep conditioner after, let it sit for 10 or 15 minutes, and then rinse it out, your hair will be so soft and shiny just from this. Now, as I said, you can make this yourself. I mean, it's not that hard to do. One thing though, you must remember to blanch your nuts, and like I said, that's not as hard as anything. I tend to buy the nuts unblanched and blanch them myself. And how you do that is you just take the nuts and you put them in a bowl and boil some water, and then pour the boiled water over the nuts and let it sit for 2 minutes, and then rinse it out with cold water to reduce the cooking, to eliminate the cooking time. And then you spread them out on a paper towel or whatever it is you use, and then let them dry, and then the casing of the nut will just pop right off the nut. Now, walnuts are not as easy to do as almonds because the almond shell is a little bit thicker than a walnut, but it comes off pretty quickly and pretty easily. So let me tell you about the walnut since we started talking about that. Walnut is a great nut butter. It's rich in omega-3 oil. This is an oil that comes from walnuts. Is great for sensitive skin. It's great for irritated skin. If you have like some problems, some irritated patches or whatever on your skin, if you take a little bit of this and put it on your skin, and let it sit and then rinse it off, it will help with that irritation. Like, it's amazing. So it's good for that as well. And as I said, I'll tell you little warnings about each soap. The warning for the almond was not to add extra oil. When I do almond butter and I grind it up, it is such a task because almond butter takes forever to grind down and turn into the oil ever. This one does not. It immediately turns into the almond butter pretty quickly. You see the consistency of this is really loose because the almonds have a lot of oil to them. So you don't need to really stand by. Well, you do need to stand by, but you don't have to keep scraping the sides of this. This kind of grinds down to oil rather quickly. So don't walk away from this one when you're grinding it because then you'll have butter right away. The other one that I use is macadamia nut butter. This is a butter that's from Australia. There's some, I think they come from Hawaii too, I'm not sure. But yeah, this one is a very good nut butter because it's good for, since it's a natural skin protector. This one, the oil from this is a natural skin protector. It's great for winter time because as the wind is, like abusing your skin, your exposed skin, this one will help to protect your skin. It is a soft oil that penetrates the skin very easily. So that's a very good quality for the macadamia nut butter. The only thing that I find with this one is that because it's such a soft nut, it doesn't grind down as easily as the other one. So there is a lot of the nut that's still there, but I don't really care about that because I only use this in my soap. So it doesn't really matter. And another good thing about this one is it doesn't have a shell. So you don't have to really blanch this one. The only thing is though, when I buy them with salt on them. I buy them with salt on them because I eat them. And I can only do 7 ounces at a time. It's funny because I tend to eat about an ounce before I start the process. So it's only 7 ounces at a time. So that's my warning for this one. If you like macadamia nuts, you're probably going to end up with less because I eat them. So that's what that one does. Now all of these nut butters are awesome. They're very good for your skin. They're super duper food for your skin. So if you eat them, if you put them on your skin, they're just as good. As I said, I make these nut butters for soap as well as for my family to eat. Tons of recipes for different kinds of nut butter so that you can put on your toast, or you could make a peanut butter, or not peanut butter, but a nut butter and jelly sandwich. It's awesome. You can make a hot, spicy nut butter. Awesome ways to use these nut butters. But I am a soap maker, so I'm going to tell you about the benefits for the skin. Also, another thing that I use when I make my nut butter soaps is I use coconut milk. Coconut milk is really good. Another superfood that's really great for soap and skin. With coconut milk, it provides moisture to the skin. This is awesome. Now you can buy coconut milk in powder form and constitute it yourself, and that's fine. Or you can go to the grocery store and you can buy your own coconut milk. It's usually in the ethnic food aisle that you'll find it. And what you want to do when you buy it, you got to be careful. Read the ingredients on these coconut milks, because you want to get a coconut milk that has no sugar to it or any of those other things that they put in it to make it taste good. Because we're not going to be drinking it. We're going to be using it in our products. So you don't need all that stuff. And there's a lot of other products that's out there that does not have those qualities. What I use... Sorry, I had to walk by. What I use Thai Kitchen. It comes in a can. I also use the powder form, but when I use my soaps, I tend to use Thai Kitchen. It has nothing in it but coconut. It's the best one I've ever found. It's fairly inexpensive. You get it at Kroger as a can. I think I get a can for $1.20, and it's 8 to 10 ounces. So, I mean, I made 9 pounds of soap from this one can, and I have all this left. So it's economical. Another thing that I use in my soaps is shea butter. I use a higher percentage of shea butter in my nut butter soaps than I do in my other soaps because it's awesome. I mean, what else can I say about shea butter? I use shea butter in just about everything that I make. I love shea butter. I think it's wonderful. It's a natural healing qualities from shea butter is just amazing. So I use it in everything. And then because this is such a natural product that I make, I do not put color in it. I do not put fragrance in it. It's all about the qualities of the ingredients that's in the bar of soap that makes the soap. So the shea butter at the higher quantity is actually awesome for the soap. So I'm going to show you how I make my soap, and then after that I'll show you the soaps themselves. Okay, I'll be back. Hey guys, this is Chris from KFC Creations. I can't remember the last time I made a soap on camera. So I'm going to make some walnut butter soap. And this is my walnut butter. And I made that walnut butter myself. And it's very easy to make. First let me put my lye in, and then I'll talk as we go along. So my oil temperature, and my lye water, it's at a good temperature. Now this recipe has a lot of shea butter in it, so it's going to accelerate pretty quickly, but not to worry. Put your I don't do a lot of stick blending when I soap. As you can tell, it's already pretty thick, and that's because of the shea butter. And oh, I forgot to tell you, the water had sodium lactate in it already. So now I'm adding my coconut milk. Stick blend that. Get that all incorporated. It's nice. Then we're gonna have I have my walnut butter here. I'm gonna get that in there. These soaps are the easiest soaps to make. At least for me. I hate to speak for everyone because I don't put any color in my nut butter soaps, I don't put any fragrance in them. It's all about the quality of the ingredients of the nut butter. That's what this soap is all about. So it's about making the soap is easy because all I'm concerned about is making sure all the ingredients are mixed together and then pouring it in the mold. It's that easy. Let me get my mold. And I always make exactly the amount that I need for my molds. If you want to learn how to do that, Soaping 101 has a great formula for figuring out how much you need. It looks like it's gonna overflow, but it never does. And I always get so worried that it's gonna overflow, but it never ever does, and it's so weird. And if you measure correctly and everything's done like to where it's supposed to be, it won't overflow. You will never have extra, which is good, unless you want extra. And if you want extra, all you do is just add as much as you want extra into your batter using a soap calculator and figure that out for yourself. But here you have it. I'm going to wait for this to firm up so I can texture the top. It's a little bit loose right now. My son's in there watching his Sunday morning cartoons. But yeah, I will be back with this after it's done and cut. So I'm going to make this whole video at once so you can see me making it, explaining all the ingredients and all the other stuff, so you don't have to come back for another video. Alright, I'll be back. Okay, here's our final soaps. They've all been cut already because I'm not a good cutter on film. But let's start with this one. This is the first one we started with. This is the almond soap. And pick one up so you can see it. There's nothing really special about them except for the qualities of them. I think they're really gorgeous. They weigh in about 5.7 ounces. So I got 9 cuts out of that 3-pound loaf and some samples here. So I'm going to just weigh one. That one's 5. That's the smallest one. And that's 5.8. And most of them are about that same size. And that one's 5.7. So, and this one is our walnut one. Came out a nice tan color. Pick that one up for you. And it's really nice. And again, I got some samples out of there. Again, 9 pieces. And that one's 5.7. And then most of them are about that size, 5.6, give or take an ounce. So, yeah. They gelled all the way through. Now, I don't promote gelling. I don't try to stop it. I just hope that when it does gel, it gels all the way through. And this one did. However, I've been having problems, and I really don't care about it anymore, that it cracks. But it doesn't really do anything. I mean, it doesn't look horrible or anything like that. In fact, with the texture top, it kind of gives it a little bit more character. And this one is the macadamia nut butter soap. And pick that up for you. And this one's got a really nice texture on top. I let this one sit a little longer so that it'll get a nice spikier texture. And this one is Again, 5'9". Try this one. 5'5". So yeah. So this is our nut butter soaps. We got macadamia nut, walnut, and sweet almond, or almond. Not sweet almond, it's almond. So I hope you guys like it, and I will talk with you later. Bye.